The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Hello again. This is the third time, but the first one didn't take, but this is a totally different topic. So, hope you're having a good day. It's Saturday. Good old Saturday. See, when I go there, try to fix something here real quick. I'm thinking if I change the screen a little bit, I can get it to, no, it still does it. Okay. So, we're at 125. That's making that all really, yeah, it still does it. Okay. All right. Reset to 100. So, the 2-minute mark is what we will tell them. Hello. Yeah, and I'm not expecting too many people. It's the holidays are coming up. People got stuff to do. There's parades. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So we're not really expecting many people. That, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. So what we're actually really talking about is slips. We're going to cover stigma. We're going to cover a couple of things. I just think it's bullshit about the amount of flack that we get for making human mistakes. Now, unfortunately, our human mistakes, the consequences are, dire. All right, but why is it that everybody needs to be so fucking upset because somebody had a slip? It is not the end of the world. Well, it might be the end of the world on that time, but a lot of times it is not. It is not. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. The amount of guilt that goes with being an alcoholic. But there's a shit ton of stigma out there. We've got to give ourselves and others a little bit of grace, man. Do you remember trying to get off alcohol yourself? You remember it? Wasn't easy, was it? So we've got to give that same grace to other people. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. But you're going to be amazed. You're going to be amazed at the amount of stigma. Okay, and that's where we're going to kind of start. Well, maybe. Actually, let's talk about slips a little bit first. The thing is, if recovery required perfection, none of us would qualify. Okay. I was just talking to somebody and they're like, I know me. And I know, it's like, dude, you just drank on Tuesday. And I said, I appreciate the fact that you have done some work. You've looked inside, that you've done these things, but that is part of the fallacy of an alcoholic. You think you know better. And I said, if you knew who you actually were, you wouldn't have gotten drunk on Tuesday. So what you need to do is sit down with your sponsor, go through the steps and figure out who you actually are so you can be the best version of yourself that you can be. That's the answer to that. Yeah, and I had a slip on Tuesday. Okay. Well, it's Saturday. Have you drank since then? No, you haven't. Well, what are we looking at here? We're looking at progress. Okay. Now, it's already hard to pick up this 1,000-pound phone and call somebody. But calling me, if you're calling me, okay, because this is how the conversation started. He's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm all right. How are you doing? Well, I'm okay. And I said, nobody calls me and tells me they're okay. People call me because they're fucked. I'm the last block on the house. It must be pretty freaking bad if you are calling me. If God has led you to me, it's life or death, because that's what I work with. I work with the really, if you came into the program the first time and you caught it, fucking hallelujah. I think that's awesome. Congratulations to you. But there's a lot of us who flounder, and I understand that. I know what it's like. So those are the people that I help. And it is hard to do. Now, this isn't my sponsee, it's my sponsee's sponsee, but that still makes me responsible, does it not? That if my phone rings, I need to pick it up. Unless it's after 8 o'clock, then I ain't picking up. Actually, less time than that. More like 6:15 when the meeting is over. I'll still answer in some cases. Depends on what it is, right? So, if you have had a slip, ignore the rest of the world. Because, see, a bunch of stuff has been put on you that you didn't need. And I'll tell you what it is, okay? This is what it comes down to with stigma. And normal people do this too. And by normal, I mean non-alcoholics. So let's just stick with that. I'm so tired of people like, well, normal, but yeah, we know. No shit. But let's use some common sense here. Because when you do that, you're just wanting to interrupt the person to prove that you're right. And that is ego. So quit doing it. Okay. Now we can have fun and say normal is a cycle on your washing machine. But when we say normal here, we mean non-alcoholics. Well, guess what they like to do? Judge other people to make themselves feel better. This is a human condition, not just an alcoholic thing. That is a human condition. We love to use the homeless, people with less than, when really, there are people that I've met. The people that I find that are really happy in life don't have much money because they have had to find happiness different ways without the satisfactions of their material things. Like me. Yeah. My car ain't even started right now. I had a choice to get it fixed, but somebody else needed help first. I wasn't the priority. I didn't need to be. Yeah, you know what was enough for me? My wife said, "Hey, do you want me to help you get that done today?" The fact that she remembered was enough. My wife finds me a priority. That's all I needed. Nope. Where you're going and what you're doing is the priority. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. I stir the pot a lot. And I enjoy doing it. I do. I like being that person that people calls when they're, because I have the answers. I've usually been there. If you're here, please say hello. Please say hello. I'm so lonely. Not really, but yeah, if you choose to say hello. I think, for every 10 videos I put out, I think I get probably, I don't know, 5 comments. I get likes and loves. I get a few. It's all right. Not required. So now we're gonna cover stigma. Ooh. Get ready. Now, this is a very long list. I'm not going to cover the whole list. Okay. It's long. All right. Let's get started. Let's do it. All right. There's my opening. See, makes pictures for you. There we are. All right. There are different types of stigma. I'm gonna get into the ones that really matter to us. Well, maybe it's just the one that I understand better. Who knows? The big picture types of stigma. Researchers usually break substance use stigma into a few layers. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Chat GPT don't know better. It doesn't know any better. Now, the people that wrote this, because I told it, this is what I told it to. I said, go search the internet for all the ways alcoholism is stigmatized. Take your time. Right? The first thing is stigma. Researchers usually break substance use stigma into a few layers. Substance use. is the stigma. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you, it's going to get into one thing here. It's going to, don't call people alcoholics. Don't call them drunk. No, I prefer alcoholic over. They didn't ask us, did they? They never fucking asked us. They just decided to go with a more pleasing name. But sometimes things need to be named something to get your ass moving. Nothing wrong with alcoholic. I could understand why people wouldn't want to be called a drunk, things like that. But the reason, see how the stigma has already started. There's stigma with the stigma. There's people that are fighting stigma who are creating stigma. This is not good. Public social, what people in general believe, how they treat people with AUD. Oh, we're going to make it so nice for you. Okay. See, it's all right. Right from the beginning, even Chat GP, even the people who say we need to that we need to fight stigma, the people that run around and say we need to fight stigma are creating the stigma. They are reinforcing the stigma, right? And there's structural, institutional laws, policies that and practice that disadvantage people with AUD. What law? You tell me right now, what laws or policies are there out there right now that do that? None. Well, what about DUIs? And you know, if you're on your third, fourth DUI, you belong in jail. You're dangerous. You should be taken off the fucking streets. See? Now that's not stigma, that is fact. Because an alcoholic who drinks on the fuckets kills people. It's 111, by the way. Hi, Amber. All right. So stigma and stigma here. Let's keep moving on. All right. Number 2, stigmatized beliefs and stereotypes. Oh, they have a moral failure, bad character. They're dangerous and unpredictable, hopeless, non deserving. Now, I'm going to tell you, these 3 are true. They're true. That's not stigma. I do act in bad character when I am drinking. I am dangerous, unpredictable, and I was hopeless. Now, the 2 I agree with, moral failure, weak will, absolutely not, non deserving. Now, I hear people say all the time, now, why should I put a roof over somebody's head if they're not going to stay sober? So, since they have a mental illness, they're not worthy of a roof over their head. Fuck you. No, I'm a housing person first. I am housing first. Okay. With the intention of trying to make your life better because your chances of staying sober and living a better life go up by about 30%. 30 fucking percent. 30. Now, is it required to get sober? No. But if I can do something to clear away the wreckage, because that's my job, to make sure that you have a place to land so you can feel safe and make yourself a better person, I am going to do it. Stigmatizing language, here we go. Here we go. Right? Language is a huge carrier of stigma. Absolutely it is. Research shows that certain words make people, including clinicians, more punitive and less caring. Now, that in and of itself is stigma, right? When I worked at Detox this last time, well, let's cover this and then I'll do the detox one because I want to get back to the camera here, right? Labels, alcoholic, addict, drunk, wino, abuser. None of these are incorrect in my book. None of these, okay, maybe drunk, wino, abuser. But I was abuser. I abused alcohol and I wasn't clean or dirty. Now here we are again. I asked about alcoholism. Why are we saying clean or dirty? That's drug addiction. That is drug addiction. See, now we're combining things. So why should I trust anything clinical? Phrases, falling off the wagon, they did it to themselves, can't hold their liquor. 2 of these are correct. Can't hold his liquor is incorrect. I will drink you under the fucking table. See, they do not see it the same way we do. To them, getting out of control and drinking 20 drinks is can't hold their liquor. To us, this means I can drink more than you can. I certainly can hold my liquor. Medical notes like using non compliant alcoholic versus person with alcohol use disorder. I don't care about your medical notes. Your medical notes are your medical notes. I'm never going to see them. I don't care about those. Do you see the stigma piling up? Now, where does this come from? SAMHSA and NADAC, who haven't done shit for us in years except call us a different name. Now, everybody's running around, oh, you have alcohol use disorder. You have alcohol use disorder. That's name calling, by the way. Okay. Now, I get it. I get it because an alcoholic is not an alcoholic until they say they're an alcoholic. Before that, you do have alcohol use disorder because it's the clinical term. But there was nothing wrong with alcoholic. There was nothing wrong with drinking problem. There was nothing wrong with problem drinking. Right? It's like the 16th Street Mall here in Denver. We have a mall. It's downtown. The street is 16th Street, right? Because they're all numbered, right? They spent $10,000 to rename it to 16th Street. It's the same thing. Okay. But we had to spend thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. What is this? Now, what is the stigma? But Dion, they're saying it nicer. No, they're appeasing you. They're appeasing you. Codependency is stigma. It is. It's saying this person cannot take care of themselves, so therefore I must put action into their progress. All right. So when I worked at Detox, it's about 3 years ago now, it's changed. I went in there and we're doing stuff, right? I'm starting to get to know it. And I need to figure out something on my computer there. I'm like, okay, what's the extension for IT? You know, because we're all supposed to be on the same phone system. Turns out we were not, the Detox was not on the same phone system as the rest of Aurora Mental Health. Stigma. Why? Because they ran out of money and that's where they stopped. Okay. You're a new person. You're going to work at Detox. And where do you, or you go to work at Aurora Mental Health, right? And I'm not picking on them. I'm just using them as an example because they don't see it. They don't see it. Oh, well, you're new to Aurora Mental Health. You have to start at the bottom, right? Oh, you don't have any experience yet. So we need you to start at the bottom. Why is Detox bottom? Why is Detox the bottom of that? Stigma. Stigma. Now, we were also doing notes by hand. Yes, we were doing notes by hand. We were not in the computer system like everybody else to keep our notes and everything else. Stigma. All of it. Stigma. Coming from people with servants' hearts. That's why I'm on them all the time. I'm like, you guys are full of stigma. You know that, right? And they don't want to admit it. Okay. But now they got some new people in there that are doing stuff about this stuff. So it's on the right road. Their new director, I think they're going to be pretty good. I like them. What else is there stigma in? Media portrayals, what it's like. Last night I was watching, I've really been enjoying Matlock with Kathy Bates. It's phenomenal. If you know, and it sticks in our area. Well, she went to go see somebody at a sober living, and you could see a pile of books sitting on the table that were blue and yellow, right? Just like our big book, but they were not the big book. Because you can't put that on screen. They had things behind them. It looked like the 12 steps. It was not correct. It didn't, what, right? So there we go. So media portrayals, that the funny drunk, the drunk driver, the abusive part, but this is just life. So yeah, that is what it is, right? Families and relationships, healthcare stigma, employment, workplace stigma, housing services and child welfare stigma, structural and policy level, self stigma, courtesy stigma, anonymity and the secrecy tie-in, intersectional stigma. There were 13 different ways, right? So intersectional is like women with AUD get a harsher moral judgment. I don't, or especially around parenting. Maybe they do. I don't know. I've never heard of that. People of color, LGBTQ. See how the stigma creates the stigma, because now they have to go have their own groups and do their own thing, and now they're not a part of the whole. And it ain't going to work. If you separate yourself from A as a whole, it doesn't quite fit. Not only that, okay, but they shouldn't fucking have to. They shouldn't have to go start their own stuff. They should be welcome. Yeah. So you see how stigma really isn't what people think that it is. It's all over the place. I have stigma. There's some stigma that I have. Sure, I do. Yeah. You hear me harp on things like rock bottom and stuff all the time, but certainly that's stigma. Yeah. I do it too. Or is it the truth? I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure I ain't wrong. That's what I'm doing. If I need to 10 step something, I'm going to 10 step it, because we are allowed to make mistakes. In fact, the only way you're really going to learn is by making mistakes, but we're not allowed to. Okay. It is not us that tries to drive the perfection into us. That comes from outside. You were taught that. Right. It's like I work with young men. I was told I got to take care of this stuff myself. I'm supposed to, no. Mm-mm. Dion is not going to jump on board with that. All right. So now the problem is all of that stacks up. And then what happens is we start to judge ourselves worse than anybody else, right? If I said to you, if I talk to you the way that you talk to yourself, you probably wouldn't like me anymore. You might get physically violent with me. Huh. Yeah. So don't do it. You need to treat yourself the way that you want other people to treat you. If you constantly beat the shit out of yourself, then you will attract people that beat the shit out of you. You will. It's an attraction. You will attract what you are. All right. And personally, I just want to be an alcoholic. All right. So why do we focus on the flaws? Well, it's that 4-letter word, fear. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of disappointing ourselves. Because we're always disappointing them, aren't we? Yeah. I'm just a disappointment. I always disappoint everybody. It's just who I am. Well, guess what now? Now I'm going to disappoint everybody because I'm calling it. I'm calling my shots. See, when you tell your brain to do something, it does it. It's its job. You ever been looking for your keys? Couldn't find them. You're like, I can't find my keys. I can't find my keys. Your brain's like, okay, you can't find your keys. They were sitting right there the whole time, weren't they? Your mind blocked it out. Especially if you have anxiety going on. Your brain will block it out and you will not be able to see it because you said you were not able to see it. And the more repetitive that it gets, whether it's an outside source or an inside source, we start to believe it. Okay. Now, when we talk about in AA that we start to believe our lies, That's what we're talking about. Those are the lies. That is a lie. Okay. Now, is it true that you have a fear of disappointing others? Yes, that is true. I have a fear of disappointing others. I don't want to disappoint you. When I come and do this, I don't want it to be crappy. I don't want to disappoint you. I want you to enjoy it. So you come back. I go through it, but I don't let it fucking control me anymore. Nah. Mm-mm. No. First time I went live today, there wasn't anybody here, but it's Christmas time. Okay. Middle of the day. It didn't work anyway. It shut down after 16 minutes because my kitty cat. All right. So, shame of past behavior. Well, how do you solve that one? Go do a fourth, fifth step. See, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Now, what I don't do is call myself names. But if it is clear that I say something and I know that you are going to make fun of me on it or something like that, and I don't like you, I say it first. Takes away all the power. And then I laugh at it. And then everybody gets to laugh at it, But it is because I went and faced my demons. So I'm able to do that. I can make fun of myself. I make fun of myself all the time. I'll make a mistake. I'll be like, well, that was kind of silly, Dion. I used to be like, oh my God, I fucked up. That's what we alcoholics always say. I fucked up. God, I did it again. I always disappoint everybody. Now we're back there again. Right? And then you're going to go to the alcohol with that mindset. And I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to make it worse because alcohol lowers your inhibitions. Okay. Whatever mood you are in currently, if you go drink, it will enhance that mood. Now, you're like, oh, well, I'll just try and be happy. Yeah, it ain't gonna work. I tried that. The true feelings will come out. The truth. There's only two people that speak the truth: drunks and children. We actually speak the truth when we start getting drunk. That's the problem. Then I become brutally honest. Then I pick people apart. Yeah. No, thank you. I don't want that anymore. Trauma that tells us we must be flawless in order to be safe. No. Nope. I was just talking to this guy and I said, you want to know something? To me, I'm fucked up. I'm crazy. I'm nuts, dude. And he's like, no, you're not. I'm like, see, it's perception. It's perception. You don't see me that way, do you? Right? But I do because I live with me, right? So when I tell you that because you drank on Tuesday and then you didn't drink again and you came back, that it's progress, that maybe you should believe me, huh? It's like, yeah. You're not going to be able to get around me. I just God, because you think I came up with that? No, that was God coming up with that. I'm going to take a little bit of credit. Sure, I am. But glory goes to God, right? So all panniers scanning for danger, 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 Dr. Robinson, danger. Yeah, that's trauma. It must be dealt with. You need outside help. That's the only answer I'm going to give it to you on, because I have found that people deal with their trauma differently, and that the solution can be different. EMDR, talk therapy, and CBT work very, very well for me. So, flaws versus identity. All right. So you go through stages. You didn't want to be an alcoholic. You knew you were an alcoholic. Didn't really want to admit it. Why? And why did you not want to admit it? Because of all the fucking stigma. That's why you didn't want to admit it. See, it wasn't you, was it? You just didn't want to be labeled something that you didn't think you were. All right. Then you get into AA, and we're like, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And then you're going to go through this part. We all do, and it's okay. But alcoholism is not my identity, and you're correct. Your identity isn't alcoholism. That is a mental illness that you have, but it's not your identity. Maybe you're artsy, maybe you make music, maybe you do this, maybe you do that. That's your identity. Your actions are your identity. The person that you are currently being is your identity. Are you being a good person or are you being a bad person? Just keep it nice and simple, right? You'll go through that stage and then you'll find out, yeah, and is Dion an alcoholic? Yeah, but I'm a lot of other things too, right? And my alcoholism no longer determines my course of action. Nope, it used to. It determined everything I did during the day. Because if I wasn't drinking, I was thinking about it. Yeah. Is it 5 yet? Is it 5 yet? Is it 5 yet? It's 5 somewhere. I'm drinking now. I can't take it anymore. Yeah. Mistakes don't erase progress. I was in the middle of my 4-step and I had a slip. Slip means that I went out and came back within a reasonable amount of time. It was one night. It was a 6-pack. It was the last time I drank. Okay. And I detoxed for a week. I actually had to go to detox on a 6-pack. What does that mean? It means my liver is shot. That's what that means, right? Anyway, so of course I felt remorse, guilt, and my sponsor didn't miss a beat. He told me what I tell you folks now. He said, Dion, let's take a look at your actions. Now, your actions brought you, you're sitting here. You're not out drinking right now. That is progress. Okay. And I don't remember how much time it was. He said, the time that you and I have spent together is not lost. So why do we think it's lost? It's the stigma. That one drink is just it. I drank, I had one slip, and therefore everything I have ever accomplished is gone. That is alcoholic thinking. No. So he said, what we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to take a look at step 3 again. We're going to redo step 3, and you're going to continue on with your 4-step. He didn't miss a beat, and that's what I did. And I never, and to this day, I have not had a drink. Now, imagine you went the other way. Oh my God, you fucking drank. I can't believe it. After everything that we have done and all the time that I have spent on you, and you fucking drink. Imagine he went that way. I'd be dead. Patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. Just because somebody makes a human mistake does not mean ostracization is in the cards. All right. But it's the same mistake over and over again. Yeah. I know we're dealing with insanity. Oh, I know. So mistakes don't erase progress, slips don't wipe out wisdom. The real damage comes from the shame, not the slip. The real damage comes from the stigma. Oh, if you have a slip, go to your sponsor first. You are not required to go back to your family, to all your friends, and tell them that you had a slip and that you're starting over and start creating your own stigma. Okay. For the most part, it's nobody's fucking business. Now, if there wasn't stigma around it, wouldn't matter, but there is. In this case, I would say it's okay to protect yourself. They don't need to know your sobriety date. They just need to know that you're getting better each day. Otherwise, it's none of their fucking business. Not only that, but this is a day-to-time program. And today, right now, is all that matters. So how can a slip be progress? Well, it exposes what still needs attention. Yes. Now, a lot of times there's no, like the person I talked to, I'm like, what happened that day that made you want to drink? And he didn't have an answer. And I wasn't expecting an answer. Because you know what happened? Nothing. And nothing is a valid reason to drink. So what's the answer here? The answer as to why they drank is this: because they were dealing with something beyond their control. Because this person has no mental defense against the first drink yet. Because the person hasn't done enough work for that obsession to be expelled from them. So the solution is get back to work. But call your sponsor. Your sponsor is not going to be upset with you. All right. And I hooked this person back up with their sponsor, but they didn't want to go back because they were embarrassed. He's like, they're mad at me. I'm like, oh, they're not mad at you. That I know. And I know because I sponsored them and we don't work that way. So I already knew. I'm like, he better not take it that way. I'm going to put my foot up his ass. Right? Right? Yeah. So I didn't just help him. I also helped my sponsee because he's trying to figure out it can be pretty hard sponsoring somebody in the beginning because you get really excited. Okay. And that's why I told him, I said, hey, he's not mad at you. He's not disappointed. He's a little upset because he was really excited with working with somebody. He wasn't able to do it. That's why he's upset. And that's okay, isn't it? That's fit. I'm like, that's fair, isn't it? He's like, yeah, that's fair. I'm like, so see, he's not mad at you. He's just upset with the situation. But he's a big boy with the tools and he will get through it. Yeah. We got to be here for each other. All right. What else does a slip do? It brings honesty and humility. So, see, look at all this progress. You didn't have humility before. Oh, you found out real fucking quick you can't handle your alcohol, did you? You found out, yeah, you proved our point, didn't you? All right. In fact, there's a part in the big book that says if you don't know if you're an alcoholic or not, go out and try some controlled drinking. I don't tell anybody that. I don't do that part because they're going to do it. They're going to do it either way. But if I put in their mind that once they start drinking and can't stop, that's a pretty good sign. Now I don't have to tell them to go drink and prove it to themselves. I'm not going to. And I'm pretty gutsy, but I'm not that gutsy. All right. It breaks denial. Okay. And it reinforces connection. Go back to your sponsor. Go back to your home group. Okay. Now, if your home group gives you a hard time, if you're an AA, they're not going to give you a hard time. They might a little bit, but you might hear something like this. Man, you need to shit or get off the pot. You need to do something. Right? They might. Right? And they're not wrong, but they're saying that with love. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're a little bit older. They don't, or maybe they don't know how to express their feelings. But I can tell you right now, it is love. Yeah, it hurts when you see somebody go out, whether you were connected to them or not. It hurts. It rebuilds commitment. A slip is feedback, not failure. Okay, but the whole world has been telling you it's a failure all your life. Okay, because I tell you now, Alcoholics Anonymous and alcoholics didn't come up with the phrase rock bottom. That wasn't us. That was SAMHSA. The same people that came up with AUD, SUD. Okay. That created the stigma. Now that they created the stigma, well, now they can ask for government money to fight the stigma. So what are they going to do? Fight themselves? See, they created this. It's the human condition. It was created so that NADAC has something to fight. But we stopped fighting everything and everyone. Did we not? Did we? Did we do that? So, pause before judging. What else is going on? Look for the effort and let them know that. Encourage people, right? Offer grace, see the whole person, and keep the focus on growth, not punishment. So there's this emotional sobriety connection here. And emotional sobriety is the ability to see clearly without the fog. And that's you and me, right? You remember you'd see your aunts and uncles, they'd be like, man, you grew like a weed. And you're like, I haven't grown at all because you have been sitting with yourself for years. You don't see the inherent growth in you. Somebody needs to point that. It might come later after the problem and everything. But when you're in the problem, you can't see that. So therefore, we need to encourage each other, right? Now, when we do that, we're creating grace, and that creates room for growth. Okay. So, reminders, no one gets this perfect. The goal is not flawlessness, it's willingness. You're allowed to be human, it's part of the program. So, maybe a little bit of reflection is a good way to end this one. What flaw have you been magnifying that needs grace instead? What flaw of yourself that have you been beating up on yourself about lately that deserves grace instead of your anger or your own stigma, your internal stigma, which is how we talk to ourselves? You're a beautiful person that deserves love. You are. But you don't know me, Dion. You I don't. I don't. People don't listen to me because I don't know what I'm talking about. That's not why they listen to me. They listen to me because they connect with what I'm saying. So, yes, I do know you. You're like me. And you do this because you love other people. Right? All right. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Went pretty well. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me run my mouth and hanging out. I appreciate it. All right. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And